What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Okay. Al Haymon just got a whole bunch of coins thrown in his pocket, and it seems as if Showtime is doubling down on its commitment to being the top provider of boxing content in the United States of America by extending the deal with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, for another 3 years. And my understanding is from the article that came out that they're going to be offering even more shows than they have in 2017 and 2018. So it looks like they have expanded their budget. It doesn't say this explicitly in the article, but in order to do what the article says, which is to significantly expand, the agreement also calls for Premier Boxing Champions to deliver content for a significant expansion of live boxing programming from Showtime Sports coming in 2019. The announcement was made today by Steven Espinoza, President, Sports and Events Programming for Showtime Networks. Now, the short of this for me is that I'm quite sure that Al Haymon can say thank you to Eddie Hearn for this bidding war that he started with these fighters and the attempt to take fighters from Showtime and bring them over to the Zone. So Steven Espinoza and Showtime, which is owned by CBS, said, and not so quick. Let's just throw a little bit more money at the problem and get more dates for fighters to fight, because Showtime is a top sport boxing is a top sport on Showtime, and Showtime clearly over the last several years has become very, very invested in it compared to what HBO, who used to be the banner boxing program in the United States. Now, before I get into what this means, I want to say thank you to the subscribers that are watching the channel. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when we do live streams. We do live streams in the morning and Monday through Saturday at the least. And the best way to know about that is to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also, thank you to everybody that donates through Super Chat, through Venmo, through Patreon, and watches the videos and the commercials we put in the videos, because I know that can be kind of irritating sometimes, but that is how we generate revenue for the cause that the channel is put in place to raise money for. And also, again, please keep your eyes out for the Super Chat Challenge coming on 78 Sports TV's channel when he comes off back and starts his live streams again. Support that man for all the great things he does for boxing and the conversations that take place on YouTube. Now, let me get into this again. Now, Eddie Hearn thought that he could come over here, get somebody with a big bank, wave some money in front of these free agent boxers' faces, and that they were just going to jump ship, run over there to the Zone, and he was going to be taking over boxing in the United States. But it's funny thing happens when you come from a little pond that does not have a lot of boxing money over to the United States, who has a bunch of it and a bunch of people who are already established in doing it. Who would have known? They push back. Now, the funniest thing to me about Eddie Hearn is talking about all this great money that he's offering, these big offers that he's making for fighters. I just find it real funny. And number one, he can't win a purse bid. Or I haven't seen him win a purse bid in a while. I'm sure he could win a purse bid, but he hasn't won a purse bid in the United States of notes that I know about. And he has succeeded after the DAZN was announced, his partnership with DAZN and his $1 billion deal, which is really a $250 million deal, which ain't short. That ain't a little bit of money, but it's a far shot from $1 billion because it's a 2-year deal and they have an option to renew. But The DAZN has an option to renew, according to rumors. But since he's done that, ESPN has went ahead with Top Rank and said, hey, what we'll do is we will extend our agreement with Top Rank, and we will expand our programming, and we will match you. We will see you your $1 billion and raise you, or your $250 million and raise you by basically buying Top Rank. I mean, it's not officially purchased, but I mean, they all but own Top Rank. All of Top Rank's content is put on ESPN Plus app, which honestly, man, I wasn't a big fan of to begin with, but now that I've been a subscriber for a while, I actually really do appreciate it because I get to see a lot of different things like tennis that I want to see. I also get to see the old Top Rank fights that are up there that are they're really good fights that are up there. So it's a good ESPN's doing a good job of boxing, although I got to admit that I ain't the biggest fan of Bob Arum in the world. So now you have Showtime Sports doing the same thing. Now, the difference between Showtime, ESPN, and DAZN is that Showtime has something that none of these other guys have, which is a lot of boxers. A lot of boxers. Premier Boxing Champions, a live boxing series created by Haymon Sports LLC, features more than 160 boxers from around the world. Founded in 2014, Premier Boxing Champions boasts the largest collection of champions from bantamweight to heavyweight, 14 in total, and far more than any other entity in the sport. Now, just to put this in perspective, the PBC has 14 world champions around the world. The UK, I do believe, last time I counted, they had 6. That's the last time I counted. That was a ways back. But it's comfortable to say at 14, there are more champions, world champions. And I know I got to put a caveat on it because there's all kind of championship belts. But because there shouldn't be more than 14 champions in boxing. If there ain't more than 14 there's barely more than 14 weight classes. So it really shouldn't be. And the way that I like it, man, I would rather have there be flyweight, bantam, flyweight is a strawweight, flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, cruiserweight, and heavyweight. Those are the ones that I would do. Those are the ones that I would have. But, you got the juniors and you got the junior or supers, depending on which, however you phrase it, that make them a lot more weight classes. But regardless, the point is that the PBC has 14 world champions, and even the people that they don't have world champion, they've got a great talent pool, and they have the ability to get more because of the fact that Al Haymon has a terrific reputation in the places in the United States and outside the United States that really do that produce great fighters. So they have an end to continually get more fighters coming on board to the PBC. And it's because they got a great reputation with boxers. When you have somebody like Errol Spence Jr. saying, thank God for Al Haymon and what he does for boxers, that tells you, man, that he's going to say that obviously to other fighters, and fighters that are on their way up are going to want to sign with him. And also the PBC has a great habit of being able to work with other promoters, work with promoters like Richard Schaefer, Lou DiBella, and the like, and make these fights happen. So, the long and short of it is that, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom is not taking over boxing in the United States. And this pretty much puts a nail in the coffin of that. Because that was the issue. People were saying, look, man, at some point in time, Showtime is going to have to step up. Showtime's going to have to step up their game. Showtime had already stepped up their game to overcome HBO. And when Showtime overcame HBO with the help of Al Haymon and the premier boxing champions. Now you have guys coming up from out of the woodwork, crawling out of the woodwork like Eddie Hearn, trying to steal everything that they built by throwing a bunch of money at the fighters who are promotional free agents. To date, it hasn't worked. And now moving forward, it more than likely definitely is not going to work, because now Showtime has countered what Eddie Hearn said that they didn't have: more dates, more fights. If they would have significantly increased. So if they had 30 fight dates, which is pretty much every other week for most of the year, if they add, because it's 12 months, if there's 2 fight cards a month, that's 24. So they're doing over 2 fight cards a month between Showtime, Showbox. I don't know what the relationship would be with Fox Sports 1, but I also know Fox Sports 1 is going to be able to put some dates on there as well. That's going to have more and more opportunities for guys to fight. And that's what they were saying they needed to do. Gervonta Davis needs more dates. The fighters that were with Mayweather Promotion saying, look, we need more dates. We need more opportunities to fight. Now, so with Showtime putting up more money and putting up more dates, that could go a long way to solving that problem. So Showtime, if they have the most dates, and I wouldn't doubt that they put on the most dates, because it kind of seems like that's the way they're going. If you have the most dates for fighters, you've got a good amount of money to pay the fighters, and you've got great fighters, and you've got a great reputation and a history of putting on fights, and your network is invested in doing so, man, that's a bright future for Showtime, man. So it looked like Showtime Sports just put the hammer down on the zone. I like it. But see, this is a good thing, man, because now they're going to have to come back and figure out what else they're going to do. And to a certain extent, I like the competition between them, as long as the one with the most fighters, and at some point in time, somebody wins and takes it over. So we can have everybody on one platform, but I know that ain't happening anytime soon, or probably not ever. But it is what it is. And congratulations to Al Haymon and the PBC for extending their deal. I hope that it means a lot, really great things for the boxers. I'm already sure that it's going to mean great things for fight fans, because it already has. Those guys, they put on great fights on a regular basis. And hey, man, I can't say anything but positive things about Showtime and HBO boxing. They really put it down, and they got it. Now, I'm not super happy about these pay-per-views coming up, but hey, man, it is what it is, and I'll throw my money in the hat, man, to support boxing. And with that, I'm out. Peace.